languages they speak, what special skills they have, and most importantly, of course, knowing in advance how much it's going to cost to see the doctor and how much that out-of-pocket expense is going to be to the patient. Now that I welcome. What I don't welcome.
And also about the fees that they charge, and a capacity for doctors to inform particularly the ethnic community as to the languages that are spoken, to publicly let the local Greek and general Greek community know that, and that we believe will be of assistance to the ethnic communities who often recommends a charge well above the services in Victoria would charge above the scheduled fee. Now that increases the I actually haven't looked at what an advertisement would look like.
But for instance, for some
parts of the regulation as well. But and ever since I've been a member of Parliament, I've had a continual stream of it's going to be a fairly large site. Inform the medical board when they believe a doctor is not complying with the law. Certainly that was how the complaint came in about the medical practitioner who had mentioned in the paper that she was back from holidays. Well,
Mr. Roper, why has the government introduced these guidelines?
Well, it was our view that consumers should be able to get more information about the what doctors charge, about languages spoken in practices, about the general way in which various medical practitioners operate. And this will enable medical practitioners to provide that information. Previously, they've been barred from doing so.
Will it mean that consumers get a better deal from their doctors?
Well, get more information for consumers generally means better services for consumers, and we would certainly hope that many members of the medical profession will accept the regulations and put them into effect, so that, for instance, their patients do know what their charging procedures are. There are frequent consumer complaints when all of a sudden a patient finds that the bill they've received is far higher than they can get reimbursement for.
But is it likely to mean that consumers will be paying less on average than what they're presently paying their doctors?
Well, certainly in Victoria there's less bulk billing and more charging above the scheduled fee than there is in New South Wales, for instance. This may have the effect of increasing fees, a separate one, which the Commonwealth and the AMA are currently working on.
What won't doctors be able to advertise?
Well, they won't be able to advertise that they do a quicker, cheaper, more pleasant operation, that their cure for cancer is better than someone else's. We want to avoid the situation where quackery and advertising that harms patient care is allowed.
And what penalties will there be for breaching those guidelines?
Well, the penalties are laid down in the Medical Practitioners Act, and they range from a reprimand through to being struck off the medical roll. But naturally, in this advertising area, you wouldn't see the more severe penalties being applied.
Right, thank you very much.
Demands, which at this time we have given what we believe proper answers to the union, and we have continued discussions with them. We have not given in to intimidation, but as you notice, the judge was very forthright in that there is intimidation and duress.
How hard is this hitting TAA, sir?
We've explained before there's some 7,000 people per day. That's a bit more than half of our normal traffic, but it's building up into Christmas time, and although it is hitting TAA hard, I once again say it's the public, particularly in remote areas, that are feeling this, and quite unfairly.
Is there any thought that there will be stand-downs if the strike continues?
I would, as I said earlier, I've appealed to the members to read the statement very carefully, and subject to what we hear today, our further action will be planned for.
So you are looking at stand-downs at the end of the week?
I did not say that. I said subject to what happens today, we will consider our position again.
How long are you prepared to wait before you do take some sort of action?
We cannot go on indefinitely in this form, so if there is no responsible reaction from the members of this union, we must start thinking about and taking other action.
Would you be looking at taking action before Christmas so that Christmas flights will go on?
Every endeavour will be made to ensure that Christmas flights can resume.
In the future, sir, what are the possibilities of you buying planes that would cope with three-man crews?
The aeroplanes that are replacing or are available to replace are of three categories, and they're all in 142 seats or less. They're relatively small, narrow-bodied aircraft. These aeroplanes are all available. Two are approved to operate in that manner now. The third is under design and construction and will be approved for two-crew operation. Already some 63 operators have ordered or are operating these aircraft of the same type as I've mentioned, and there's over 1,100 orders for these aeroplanes. No one in the world is operating with more than two crew or plan to operate.
No,